It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 6th of February. I'm Michael Groff. A rather active but complex weather pattern taking shape across the Southwest over the next several days with multiple opportunities for rain in here. We also have the risk of some locally heavy rain later this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow, along with the risk of scattered thunderstorms, some gusty winds as well. But as usual, there are lots of caveats and question marks and nuance to this forecast, and we'll try to dissect that as we dive on in. Let's get to it here. The almanac from yesterday, 75 degrees the afternoon high, 53 the morning low, 70 and 48 are the averages for this time of year. And as we take a look outside right now, around 8 o'clock here in the area, we've got mostly cloudy sky, and at Sky Harbor Airport, they're checking in with 63 degrees, dew point 37, 39% the humidity. It's a light wind. The barometer is steady. The upper level weather pattern across the nation, and it's the old Omega block, named for the Greek letter Omega. You've got that trough off the east coast. You've got a ridge in between. You've got a trough moving into the west. And, of course, the old atmospheric river getting cranked up. And this is the same system that has just been hammering California. A deluge of rain for coastal California, even into some of the valleys of California, and just dumping of snow for the Sierras. I mean, it's been measured by the foot there. And for places like the LA area, downtown LA has had over 8 inches of rain. The LA airport, almost 7 inches of rain. Santa Monica, about 8.5 inches of rain since all of this began. And a number of other locations. We're talking widespread 3 to 5 inch totals. Here in Phoenix, I mean, we get about 7.5 inches of rain a year. So the LA area in the last 4 or 5 days has had as much rain as we get in a year in a 96 to 120 hour period. It's just incredible. All right, as this system moves east, the old atmospheric river heads our way. But of course, this system will be weakening as it approaches, but still will be vigorous enough to produce some rain and heavy rain at times. Here's the watch warning map. We still have some dense fog advisories, of course, with that ridge, warm air over cold ground. Yeah, that'll get you some fog from portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, northward up into the Dakotas and Minnesota. Out here in the west, we still have flood warnings for some locations. In Southern California, flood watches abound. Plenty of winter storm warnings, and that goes for the higher elevations of Arizona, California. Now, for us here in Phoenix, a little bit of a weird flood watch, a complicated one. For the Southwest Valley, the flood watch, which means the potential of flooding in and close to the watch area, conditions that could lead to flood and or flash flooding in the watch area, will begin around 2 o'clock today is when that flood watch begins, from 2 p.m. this afternoon until tomorrow morning. For the rest, now that's the Southwest Valley. That's places like Avondale, Cashion, Goodyear, Litchfield, Liberty, Beardsley. But for the rest of the Phoenix area, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Carefree, Cave Creek, Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, those areas, the flood watch goes from 5 p.m. this afternoon until 11 p.m. tomorrow. I can't remember the last time I've seen a flood watch bisect the Phoenix area that has different times, but there it is. So that is in effect. So do keep that in mind. All right. Convective outlook for today. No organized severe weather is anticipated, but thunder is possible here from Southern California through Arizona, including Phoenix. And yes, a few of those storms could get rather strong with some gusty winds up to 45 miles per hour, some small hail. An isolated severe storm can't completely be ruled out either. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Here's the precipitation outlook, valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, and again, this is over the next 7 days, around an inch, maybe a little bit more, give or take. And of course, just to the north and east of Phoenix, the foothills and up into the higher terrain, you're talking 2 to 4 inches from the mountains of northern La Paz County through northern Maricopa, northern eastern Maricopa, parts of Yavapai, Gila, Pinal counties, and over into the eastern part of the state. Navajo and Apache counties, those areas could see some very heavy rain. And the rainfall gradient is going to be pretty sharp, and we will see some rather wild differences, wild fluctuations in rainfall from one point in the valley to the other. And you can say, well, yeah, that happens quite a bit, but I think this will be even more exaggerated than normal for a winter storm. Some areas may see less than what's shown here. We could see, some spots picking up 1/3 of an inch, we could see some spots easily getting 2.5 inches. That's just the nature of this kind of a setup. It's obviously quite complex. And let's get into what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, we'll explore the models. Here we go. The GFS, the 06Z run valid 2 o'clock this afternoon. The exaggerated Omega block troughing off the east coast, ridge in between, trough moving into the west and southwest. And what it means for us down at the surface for today, cloudy sky. Slight chance we could actually see a shower this morning. That's not out of the question, but the better chances of rain will start to come in by this afternoon. And with stronger diffluent flow aloft coming in and the jet dynamics approaching and the deeper moisture just to the west of us, by later this afternoon, we'll start to see a line or maybe a broken line of thunderstorms developing across southeast California, moving into southwest Arizona. Those could put down some heavy rain and gusty winds, again to 45 miles per hour. And some of you have pointed out to me that you've seen on the various socials and from some of the wannabes out there that we have called out on this channel before. Some of these guys that do their own crazy weather forecasts, you know, they've called for a slight chance of tornadoes and that sort of thing. And let me just address that point because it has been asked. It's never out of the question that a thunderstorm can produce a brief spin-up tornado someplace. Okay, that chance here in for the most part is anywhere from about 1 in 100 to 1 in 200 with any given thunderstorm. All right, but the odds of actually seeing a tornado here in southern Arizona in the Phoenix area today, or even in the greater Southwest in general, is extremely low. It is less than 1%. It is not something that is even worth discussing. So, again, could it happen someplace? It always can happen with a thunderstorm, but that risk is extraordinarily low, and we do not anticipate that. However, a few storms could approach severe limits. It's not completely inconceivable. We could see a wind gust to 60 miles an hour with the strongest storm this afternoon. And obviously, we will watch for any potential, supercell development or any of that. We do not anticipate that, but these storms could take on a more linear type dynamic, a little bit more of an organized form later this afternoon with that diffluent flow aloft. All right. Having said all of that, high temperatures this afternoon will be lower than we've seen in recent days, mid to upper 60s. And the rain chances pick up this afternoon. Let me take a look. Let me show you. This is one of our high-res models. This is the high-resolution rapid refresh, one of our convective allowing models. And yes, you can actually see it. This is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It depicts a band of showers off to the east of us. I'm not sure if that develops as advertised, but yes, showers and embedded thunderstorms to the west, approaching us from the west. They might be in here by the middle or later part of the afternoon, say 3, 4, 5 o'clock, something like that. And again, we could see a shower or two before then, but that's when the bulk of any activity should start to pick up here across the area. All right, now for tonight, we'll see rain become widespread. We'll see some locally heavy rain at times. Obviously, the potential of flooding in place in that flash flood watch area. Overnight lows tonight, generally mid-40s to low 50s, and then we'll go to tomorrow. Cloudy, rain in the morning with isolated thunderstorms, and then showers likely with isolated to scattered thunderstorms picking up by tomorrow afternoon. As again, the air will be unstable over us. Question will be if what the dynamics look like and any thermodynamics, if we can get some breaks in the clouds that might help to generate a few thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. All right, high temperatures tomorrow afternoon will be a little lower, upper 50s, low 60s. Let's go to Thursday. That system moves on out of here, but another short wave is approaching us from the north and west. So we'll call for a partly to mostly cloudy day with a chance that we could see some showers, especially by the afternoon. High temperatures still pretty close to 60. Thursday night, rain will be likely again. Now this time, though, should be lighter, but yeah, we could still see a decent amount of precipitation, at least another quarter inch or so, and on top of saturated ground, yeah, that could lead to some ponding of water on roadways and all that sort of thing. So be aware of that, and that'll continue into at least the early part of the day on Friday, and still a chance of showers continues through the day on Friday, as we're just in a broadly unsettled pattern. High temperatures, upper 50s to near 60. Saturday, yet another short wave is advertised by the GFS to move on through. And so that could bring additional chances of rain, although probably not as much. And high temperatures, again, staying pretty close to 60. On Sunday, it looks like we're going to get a reprieve, all right? Shortwave ridging is going to try to build in. Forecast uncertainty does grow out here, though, I will tell you that, but we've actually taken most of the clouds out of the forecast here and called for mostly sunny sky on Sunday, with high temperatures climbing up into the low 60s, maybe even low to mid 60s or so as we go to Monday, with, again, mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. But there are signs that another low pressure could drop in here sometime Monday into Tuesday. This is a week from today, Tuesday the 13th, and the GFS has another closed low over Arizona. Now you're saying, oh my goodness, here we go again. This is more of an overland type system that develops and deepens here over us. Yes, it could stir up some showers, but it wouldn't be anything overly heavy or overly widespread. But one thing it would do is knock temperatures back down a few degrees, if that's right, with some breezy conditions. But again, I will stress, forecast uncertainty in a rather bizarre, complex flow pattern such as this is very high, especially high even for 7 days out. So you can see we got some forecast chaos to deal with out here, but we'll get it ironed out as we get closer. That's for sure. But models do show broad, baggy troughing, maybe to the southwest of us, and certainly continuing over the northern and northeast Pacific. And that remains to be more of a consistent element in the forecast. How it plays out, that's the devil in the details. All right, let's go to go out 10 days. This is Thursday, the 15th. And again, baggy low pressure to the south of us, maybe a shortwave ridge trying to be in here, but that doesn't look overly warm. I would say temperatures would get back to around 70, maybe the low 70s or so, if that's right, with mostly dry conditions, but some clouds would be with us. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 20th of February, and again, the mean over 2 inches. Same thing, European ensemble, the mean up around 2 inches. But a big spread here, or at least a bigger spread than we've seen in some of the recent runs of our ensemble guidance, denoting there is a spread growing in how this complex flow pattern ultimately plays out as we go into next week and beyond. Temperatures off the national blend of models, we're going to stay below average for a while. By the time we get out toward next week, signs that we could warm up a bit back toward the 70s. And there's also the risk that we could see some somewhat cooler temperatures this weekend with drier air working in behind the final short wave that comes through Saturday night. So Sunday morning could be rather chilly with lows down in the 30s. I know on the comments yesterday, we had people asking about the frost potential. And we can see frost here in the Phoenix metro or even the surrounding areas all the way through March, even into early April. But for most of us, at least in Phoenix proper, and the urban core, as I call it, that frost risk really does go down after mid to late February. Could there still be some maybe Sunday morning, Monday morning? We will watch for that potential. But at this point, there's still some uncertainty. But do keep that in mind that there is maybe the risk you may have to cover your plants, especially if you're in the outlying areas this weekend or early next week. All right, that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really like what we do here, you want to support us monetarily, you can click that little thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make those monetary donations here, $2, $5, $500. It all helps in the furtherance of this channel and is so greatly appreciated. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation, and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. So check her out, and also check out our streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. And all of that, everything I just mentioned and more is all linked up down in the description. So yeah, go nuts. Check all that out. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. Please be safe out there. Enjoy the rain where you can find it and have yourselves a beautiful Tuesday.